MeetupRaffle.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief summary video. Today is Tuesday. Let's see. Tuesday, the 9th of January. Geez, we're already almost a third of the way through the month of January. That sure went quick, eh? Relatively quiet news day today. We had balance of trade numbers come out. U.S. trade deficit narrowed, actually, which I suppose is a commentary on the U.S. hegemony system. As long as the U.S. deficit is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, it means theoretically that the U.S. sort of system of being the final market for everybody around the world might be backing off. I don't know whether you can really interpret too much into the actual data itself, just on a month-to-month basis, and you can see they are just consistently running deficits. I suppose if we actually did start Wing out here and trending higher, it might be a message that the U.S. hegemony system is slowly unwinding, but I don't see that happening yet. Probably got to an extreme there, of course, when you had like 20% retail sales numbers, and Druckenmiller freaking out about how the banksters were blowing up our system there. And then as the Fed sort of is trying to calm the world economy down, trying to calm the U.S. economy down, things have backed off a little bit. I don't know whether it's of any value to go into rants about my country anymore. I think you all pretty much know exactly what I'm thinking. It is interesting to see Canada is an exporting nation. So seeing their trade surplus, and they should have a trade surplus. If we go into trade deficit, we have big problems. But that surplus narrowed quite a bit here for China, so we'll see how that goes. I think on balance, relatively muted day in the market. You've got obviously the Boeing issue is weighing on the Dow stocks. We've got the NASDAQ just up slightly, and the end result for the S&P 500, the broader market, it's sort of like almost a non-event day, down 0.1%. I always say we should always keep an eye on Japan out of the corner of our eyes, as sort of a barometer of what to expect for the day. Japan actually had a pretty good day, up 1%. I'm not quite sure if it's the tail wagging the dog or the dog wagging the tail these days, but you can also see Australia was up a better part of 1%. Starting to see numbers that Asian markets, economies are trying to rebound here a bit. China itself, following the .com blow up, which was sort of the end of the United States greed cycle, it took about a year or two for the NASDAQ, for instance, that was the big sort of tech proxy through that market, to actually bottom out. And I'm getting the impression, that Chinese market, I suppose we could probably look at something like Shanghai or something like that. I'm getting the impression that it's probably going to be following along that same sort of path. In fact, actually, what are we supposed to think if we ever see big M's and smiles, market smiling at us? You can see this just isn't happy. But I think that this has to go through the natural process. I guess your top there was in like 2001, right? Ironically enough, the Jupiter-Saturn cross was like right in here. I mean, can you see how highly correlated that all is together? So, there's your cycle peak. The NASDAQ, it was, I suppose we could pull up the numbers, but it was a pretty precipitous drop, 70-80% from the peaks. So at 3,700, My hunch is this thing probably has to go all the way down to, probably around 1,000 or so by the time it's finished and correcting. Is that a big head and shoulders top? Sure, kind of looks like it. Today is Tuesday. We do have our stock pickers club meeting. So actually I might run this market by the stock pickers and see if they see any trade potentialities. Is that a word? Uh, Thanks. In the ETFs and stuff that we track on China. So, ironically enough, I think actually it's a changing of the guard. If we probably look at Japan, we probably see a very different image, eh? I mean, that does not look like the top that you're seeing in China. If anything, that sure looks like a nice, almost like a cup and handle. And of course, I've been barking about how much I love Toyota Motor Company of late. I would imagine Sony's probably selling lots of PlayStations and stuff in the US market. And I think on balance, Japanese stocks are well poised to do well going forward. I think that was a market actually that a lot of the sort of 1% smart money people were actually piling into. Yeah, look at this. Toyota is the number one here, a 47.5% year. Oh my God. And there's Sony, number two, actually. No, it doesn't look like. Oh, look at that. Tokyo Electron. Geez, up 76%. Anyway, we could have fun one day going through the Japanese stocks, I suppose. On balance, I guess what I'm seeing out of today is kind of a muted day in the market. I suppose, with regard to things like crypto, I think what's happening here, and this is just purely my opinion, of course, is we're getting closer to the ETF. If there was a trade in crypto or a chart in crypto that probably got my attention today, it's probably this dominance chart where I think a lot of the junior crypto names are kind of being left behind here today. And if we pull up a list, you can see there's a bit of red. If we look at our total, what we are looking for here, we have location. Of course, we have indicator confirmation. Everything's kind of rolling over. We do have a little bit of W action here on the alts themselves. And really the final coup de grace is, does this go and M out? And then we'll probably know that the crypto rally off of the lows, the 1 year rally's done. But I don't see any indications of M's yet. But what I do notice is if we scroll through a lot of the crypto names, you can see they're coming off chunks here. 9%, 8%, 7%, 9%, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas Bitcoin is really just sort of sitting there twiddling its thumbs. Rallied up, finally coming up into these key technical objectives. Mountain Man, this institutional fingerprint. In fact, probably even say that there's a nice little candle body high for trade location level setting up there. You can see how we're coming right into that trend line from previous peaks. And we've got, of course, this ETF stuff right around the corner. So put it all together, I guess there's a couple of interesting sort of disconnects. Like I said, one of them being that the dominance is just screaming in Bitcoin's favor right now. And I guess this kind of feels like maybe the end of that move. You can see the total crypto market is actually just basically going sideways here through this end sort of event. I know Chris has been actually watching this pretty closely. Did you actually see any sort of like dates or anything of this ETF? Like I think I saw like literally in the next day or two, it's supposed to hit, eh?
Yeah, I think there's some Bloomberg screenshots going around that the 10th is the first wave of uh, approval deadlines for that. Let me see if I can find a screenshot.
It's all good, thanks. So the point here is we're finally here. And technically speaking, we're finally at this pretty darn important level. Good old mountain man Don't be surprised if we're awfully close to some sort of pivot here. It will be, that's interesting. Ethereum Taper Legacy has crashed. Click this balloon to reload the extension. Oh, interesting. Okay. Um, don't know whether that has any relevance. Keep your fingers crossed for good old Brian. He's been playing a lot of these altcoins on the way up, and it's a question, of course, because he's got this ledger thing working. It's really just a question of can I actually see my double level based on the fact that I have to pay all these extra fees. It's kind of funny how this thing is working its way back up top here. Can I actually get off here? I don't know. I mean, I could very easily see this turn into a big honking M, and that's the end of your rally. And maybe next cycle I'll figure out a way that when I do get assets that actually double, I can sell them. Maybe it means I have to join a centralized exchange. I don't know. All right. As I sort of said, the econs today kind of meh. Um, the broader market sentiment, ironically enough, within the crypto space, you can see how much red there is on the screen here. There's not that many things that are up. I did see Solana up a little bit. You could probably also follow the fate of crypto. Do you notice the similarity here on Solana? Big M working. What are we supposed to think if we see the market smiling at us? Would it be natural and healthy for this market to actually spend the next few months just simply coming back to things like the 200 SMA? You see where the original bottom is, Wyckoff checks, all those kind of things. I think so. Um, I don't know whether I really like the idea of shorting crypto, though. I think crypto is a growth proxy, and we are getting to the point where I'd actually consider pullbacks buying opportunities. So I'm just slowly biding my time. And if I do get pullbacks down into reload zones, then I will go in and buy stuff back, especially all the names that I did sell on the rally. So today is Tuesday, which I believe means that we have our CTO, TRI CTO, on the call for the after party. I don't know whether he's actually here yet or not. Doesn't look like it. So, but we should see Stuart on the call here shortly. And as soon as I do see him join, maybe Chris, you can give me a heads up. We can head on out and head over to the after party and chat with Stuart. And if anything, is good to see. I guess he's feeling a little bit better health wise. Checking out things like the dashboard. We've got the weekly commodity trend survey back up and running. Thank you very much. Awesome. Interestingly enough, a huge part of the market is just purely kind of neutral right now. I do have a few hunting buy names, so that's good to see. We had, of course, the whole market was screaming hunting sells there a week or two ago. Still have a couple names like the Solana and like the BTC that are still kind of nosebleedy. So I can't really justify buying them, but there are quite a few names that are coming back down to earth. So if you are in the market to shop, maybe check out some of these names. Tuesday is supposed to be Crypto Tuesday day, so I suppose I can show you this list here on the free broadcast. You can see all the fives, whether it be things like interesting how I showed you the other day, Litecoin has completely unwound its bull market. So he's come back down to the bottom. Things like that were darlings like the Algo, the Matic I've been barking about for quite some time. It never really did get going. And then our buddies, actually, the two names that started the bull run off just about 1 year ago, Cripple, which did actually double on us, and XLM. I don't know whether XLM doubled or not, but point being that they're actually back in the buy window. So that's kind of interesting. A lot of neutrals that really I just probably best just to leave alone. And then, as I said, we got BTC and Solana up top here. Solana, I think for obvious reasons, it's been sort of a darling of late. It's been in the sweet spot of the market. A lot of people are having a lot of fun trading the little poop names on the Solana network. So it does make sense that there's been a lot of capital flowing in there. Although I did just show you the chart a few minutes ago, it's got a big fat M working. So you, at the very least, I think, if you are a Solana fan, you really got to wait for some sort of W on the other side of this actually established downtrend line now. So, notice the counter trend rallies, we rally up into trend line resistance, and then you can already start to see we're backing off a little bit. So it's going to be a while before I could even turn bullish on Solana. Just because, we're big fans of trend line breaks and stuff like that around TRI. Just an FYI, I suppose. I don't know whether you will be in the area or not, but Brian's planning on doing a road trip down the coast of California. Well, I guess the coast of North America. So if you happen to be in Seattle, Oregon, Northern California, Southern California, have been getting PMs from people along here, letting me know. So we are sort of building up the list that through the, I guess the first couple weeks of February, I think I'm going to hit the road somewhere around the 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that, and work our way down to LA. And then we're going to try and do a meetup down in El Salvador. I think we're going to fly from LA down to El Salvador. Not quite sure what I did with the screen. Of course, I always end up losing all these pages because I have too many tabs open. Anyway, I wanted to show you that, but I don't see it handy here. Anyway, if you are interested, as I said, latter part of February, I think it's like the 16th through the 23rd. We'll be in El Salvador on the beach, just sort of kicking the tires. And of course, one of our, you can see we're already thinking about booking trips. Oh, here we are. This is it. One of our OGers has actually gone through and made a really nice little presentation video of where we'll be crashing in El Salvador. So by all means, if you're on the site, check out TBG's. Well, I don't know what the hell I've done here. Check out TBG's video on that. And if you happen to be in the neighborhood, we'd love to see you. As well, I suppose the last thing that I'll mention before we head on over and hang out with Stuart for a bit is actually, I don't know where he is. I guess we'll say here, are you ready for DB? Sure. Last thing that we'll just point out, we do have a new school term coming up here. So by all means, if you are interested in learning what we actually teach people to run their small business of trading, feel free to pop on over to the page, therationalinvestor.com/learn. And we do have a raffle coming up here for this school term. And I would encourage everybody to join the raffle just because, what the hell, man? If you can learn this stuff for free, it might be the best education you ever get in your life. And we've had a lot of great success stories of people who have taken the school program. And actually, our Stock Pickers Club meeting, our quarterback of that meeting, he was the very first school term raffle winner, David O, back in 2015, I guess. And he's one hell of a trader, pointing out lots of inverted head and shoulders and Adam and Eves and all those kind of fun setups that he loves to trade. So, yeah, give it some serious thought. Okay, I think we'll probably leave the presentation at that. I suppose FYI, finish off. Still working away on the old trading combine for Top Step. Yeah, we're up a little bit of money on the account. What I just wanted to show you, but I don't know where I have it. It was a fun little adventure we had here first thing this morning. Yeah, it came out of the gate, took about 90 ticks from the market, and then the market backed off. So, if anything, I was pleased that just followed the plan, executing correctly. That account is just slowly moving higher over time, which is what's supposed to happen. Just slow and steady wins the race. I suppose if I ever do, meet all their funding requirements and stuff, then maybe we'll entertain the idea of running a boot camp on how to actually set yourself up to do this on a daily basis. But so it was a profitable day in crude oil, not bad. Okay, I think we'll leave the rant at that. Not much ranty today, kind of flat. I took a little paper trade here on the corn, and when it broke, took a little bit of money off the table there. But on balance, we had that pretty big update yesterday. The only problem here is, as I said through most of this video here with you guys, it's very, very difficult for a guy like me to justify coming in on the buy side way up top here. I suppose if you did take these bullish bot setup, boom, 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 three higher lows, there is the bot entry level. This is off of the daily chart. You should have had your move stop to a scratch level hit. So if you did take this double bottom breakout, then worst case scenario, you get stopped at scratch if it flakes out here. Move stop to trailing, coming up pretty close here. I don't see any reason why that can't get hit. And the ultimate objective here of the bot itself, as you can see, is basically a tag of the big fat round number, 50 grand, which I think would make sense on some sort of big sort of orgy IPO day, maybe through that first week. And then maybe we start hunting for reversals following that. So that's sort of what I'm thinking with regard to Bitcoin right now. So, okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Have yourselves a great day. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins a race. Hugs and kisses. All the best. And bye for now.